So in my last video, I talked about how out of balance I was and how I had not had a shower yet, and I just took a shower, hence the towel. So let's have some towel talk because I've been thinking, dangerous thing to do, I know, but I've been thinking more along the lines of why I'm single, and it's something I talk about a lot on this channel. But I had an epiphany while I was taking a shower. So this is also going to be a shower thoughts video. The name is self-explanatory, but I feel the need to explain it for those of you that may not know. These are thoughts that you think whilst showering. And the reason I feel the need to explain that is because I think some of you probably don't think while showering. You just shower. And I don't know what that's like because I do a lot of my thinking in the shower. And that's where I have a lot of grand epiphanies. But this one came while showering. So I'm going to spill the tea, so to speak. I don't even drink tea. Whatever the case, let's spill the tea. So grab your favorite beverage and I will explain why I think I'm still single, partially. So everyone teaches us that we're supposed to know what we want. If you want to attract something, you have to know what you want. And they say things like, be careful of what you want because you might get it. And we have vision boards and we set intentions and all those kinds of things. Well, my problem is I have tried very unsuccessfully to figure out what I want, and I have been unable to do so. So I've never been able to make a love list. I've never been able to write out the kind of man that I want to be with, ever. In fact, I struggled with this when I was single the first time. Before I got married, I didn't know any better than I know now, really, what I wanted. And so I made the gross error of having a checklist, which I'll tell you right now is not effective because somebody can meet your checklist and be a horrible person. They can meet your checklist and be a complete clash personality-wise. They can meet your checklist and probably be an alien in disguise of a human. So it isn't a good method to have a checklist. And by checklist, I mean like on paper kinds of things, because here I am telling you I don't have a love list and I haven't really spelled out what I want. That to me is different than a checklist. So a checklist is maybe they have a degree. For me, religiously they served a mission of some sort or a ministry or whatever you want to call that. And they blah, blah, blah. That's a checklist. And that's not helpful. So the reason I thought about this is because I think I repel dating. I do. And I think I repel men. I think I repel men asking me out. And I even think that for the most part, with rare exception, I repel people offering to set me up, line me up, things like that. Like, it very rarely happens. And I don't think it's because I'm hideous. I don't think it's because I'm an awful person to be around. I don't think I'm exactly hated. But I do think that for whatever reason, I have this aura, or whatever you want to call it, that repels relationships and dating and men. And like I said, even setups that come through third parties. Like, I think I repel all of it. And the reason might be, this was my shower thought or my epiphany, it comes down to the very core fact that I don't know what I want. I don't know what kind of a guy I want, for starters. I don't really know what kind of a relationship I want. And I'm realizing as I'm telling you this that the worst part of it is actually that I know what I don't want, but that's not really helpful, because when you know what you don't want, but you don't know what you do want, what you don't want is familiar. And so you recognize it and you just get more and more of it because that's what you know. You don't know what you want, and that's foreign and weird and scary and different. And sometimes you might even run away from it because you don't know what it is. So actually my problem is probably the combination of not knowing what I want and knowing so clearly what I don't want. So it's a lot easier to just hole up in my cave and hide from the world, which is what I'm doing. So my cave right now is this beautiful unfinished basement and motherhood and just singleness. It's way easier to hide here than to like actually face all of this. So I was thinking about this in the shower, and it all comes down to a moral dilemma that I have had as long as I can remember. And the moral dilemma is this: I don't know what I want because I feel a lot of guilt and shame in wanting what I want, if that makes sense. If I admit to myself or anyone else what I actually want, that doesn't seem acceptable. So then I try to not define what I want, and ambiguity gets you nowhere. So, that was embarrassing. So basically, I'm getting really vulnerable, but that's kind of how these videos work, is me pouring my soul out to strangers. But basically, what it comes down to is I used to really want an attractive, good man, and I felt guilty for that. So I thought I shouldn't care about his looks because that's superficial and we're not supposed to be that way. Like, we shouldn't care so much. And so then I tried to not care. And what I found, somebody else summed this up really well in another video. She said she tried the same thing, tried dating different types and trying to find her person. And she said that she found the ugly men can break your heart just as fast as good looking ones. That's a really concise way to say it. But my experience has basically been the same. Whether I'm super attracted or not attracted to a guy, he can be just as much of a jerk. So, how do I say this tactfully? No hate for any guys that I'm not attracted to. And they might be attractive men that I'm just not attracted to. They don't have to be ugly. They could just be not attractive to me. But my point is, I think if it isn't working out to not be attracted to guys, maybe it's okay to like want to be attracted to you. Like, I want a husband that I feel attracted to, but I think I feel so much shame around that I continually try and try and try to not care about it. And then what that does is it puts me in a relationship with someone that I'm focusing so hard on not being attracted to him that I'm not noticing all the other ways that he's horrible to me. And it's a disaster. So, but at the same time, this video is sounding super, super, super shallow. Like, I'm only focused on how attractive he is to me. And that's not it either, because obviously I could have the best looking guy in the world for me. I mean, everyone else may not agree, but I might think he's the best looking guy, and he could be a total narcissist. So it isn't the only thing or even the most important thing. But I think my epiphany, I'm way overcomplicating this like most things in my life, but I think what I'm trying to say is that it's okay to have it be a thing. So maybe I could start there. I want, if this ever happens again, I want a man that I feel attracted to. And that includes more than just like his physical looks, like his personality and his fitness and his mind and how he thinks, and like even his voice. Some voices are so attractive to me. His smell, like I really, really, really love good cologne. In fact, I'll tell you a quick side story. I was driving Uber and I took this really young kid. So I'm not saying I was like into him, but like he was like really young. But he was from New York City and he smelled good. And I had to ask him like 4 times what his cologne was because it smelled amazing. And it was a little bit embarrassing, but like he got in the car, I was like, wow, it smells really good. Like, what's your cologne? And he told me. And then partway down the drive, I was like, what was it called again? It's like so embarrassing, but it was like, oh my gosh, he did smell really good. But he was also like an impressive kid. He's like building a music career and stuff. And I was like, way to go. Anyway, I actually followed him. So someday I can claim, my claim to fame is that I was his Uber driver, but followed him on Instagram. I didn't follow him after I dropped him off. That sounded really creepy. Okay, maybe I'll take that out. But what I meant was I asked him if he had his socials and followed him, because if he starts producing his music, I want to like keep up. He was impressive, but he smelled really good. So scent is really important to me. So I'm not trying to make a list on my video, like while I'm filming, but some things that come to mind are attractiveness, which can include how he dresses, his scent, things like that. It's important to me that like spirituality is important to me. which for me specifically includes religion. I'm religious. I want somebody from my same religion with the same beliefs and focus and goals as me. So I guess that could be another thing on my list. And family. I'm a mom. I'm a package deal. I come with kids. That came up with someone recently and he admitted that he's not ready to take on a family. Well, hello. That makes it really easy. So that's a goodbye, see you never. Because I I'm just, what's the word I'm looking for? I'm I'm oh, I'm getting really tired. I'm trying to think of the word. When you can't detach something, when I'm inseparable. That was really difficult. I'm inseparable, but that still doesn't seem like the right word. I am connected to 3 other human beings that are my children, and of course they come with me into the marriage if that happens. So family is important. He's got to be family oriented. He's got to be willing to take on a wife and kids because we're a package and we come together, and he'll be an instant dad. If he doesn't already have his own kids, he's going to be a dad. So that's important. Let me think what else is important to me. And why am I telling you this? Because I feel like telling you somehow helps me think through things. Fitness is important to me. I'm not the most fit. I would like to be more fit, but it is important. And I like to build things into my house that make me want to be more fit. I have a pull-up bar. I have like gymnastics rings hung in my hallway. I have some exercise equipment around. I like to dance and move, and I would have a really hard time with somebody that doesn't put anything into their health and fitness. And I'm not hating on gaming, but I don't play games, and I would have a hard time with somebody that spent a lot of time playing games. But again, that's starting to feel like a checklist, and maybe I'm getting too specific because maybe the man of my dreams plays games, but maybe he's balanced about it. So I don't know. Those kinds of things are maybe negotiable. But the non-negotiables are the ones I mentioned before. He's got to be willing to take on a family. He's got to be religious and spiritual. He's got to be attractive to me. I've decided that one is a non-negotiable. It was negotiable before, but it didn't work out for me. So I think it's fair to put it back in. Let me think about what else. Age is not really a big one for me. I've dated really, really young, like way younger than me, and I've dated way older than me. And I've dated right at my age. So age isn't really an issue. Height, however, is another non-negotiable. I have tried to look past it. It doesn't work. I feel like I'm dating a child. I can't feel like the man in the relationship. I can't be bigger than the person I'm dating. It doesn't work. Anyway, I can't do shorter. Sorry, short guys. I'm sure that you'll find a woman for you and you might find a taller woman. There's women that are okay with that. I'm not. Personally, I'm not. I'm 5'8", which is fairly tall for a girl. I always thought it was average, but I have since learned most women are not taller than me. So I'm actually quite tall. I'm not 6 foot, but I am tall-ish. And so I don't do well if someone's my height or shorter. So sorry again. I don't have like a specific number that does work. I just know right at my height and shorter feels very strange to me. So, and I like to wear heels, so preferably taller than me. Anyway, I'm trying to think of other things. Because again, I don't want like a checklist, but I do want a love list. And I think the difference is, what is the difference? The difference is the way this would make me feel in a relationship, not the way that this would look on paper. That's what I think the difference is supposed to be between a checklist and a love list, or like an idea of what you want. So that's what I'm working on. So yeah. I love this. I have all these revelations about my life. Like, I'm realizing I'm not a very balanced person and I need to be more balanced. I repel relationships and men because I don't know what I want. That totally makes sense to me. And maybe it's because it's the middle of the night and everything seems to make more sense in the middle of the night. But I'll see how I feel about this tomorrow. I think I hit on something. I think it makes sense that if I don't know what I want, how could I ever have it? It could be staring me in the face, but I would be like, I don't know. Like, I don't know. So I know how I want to feel in a relationship more than I ever have because of, I mean, I've talked about this in the last few videos, because of that short little situationship I was in. I at least know, and that's so sad in a way, but so good in a way, because it showed me what it feels like to be treated the way that I want to be treated, even though that wasn't going to work. And I just love that feeling of being taken care of and cherished. So I know how I want to feel with someone. I just don't know who he is, obviously, and I don't know who I want him to be, like what kind of person I want him to be. So at least I'm making progress. And maybe if I keep making these videos, I'll figure it out more. But I'm still, as far as like relationships go, I'm still in a place of just not wanting to date necessarily. I feel bad saying that. Okay, that's the place I've been in. Now that I'm kind of figuring out why I might repel men and relationships, maybe I'm more open to dating, because if I can nail down what I want, then it won't be wasting my time to meet people, right? Before I was wasting my time, and that's why I stopped, because I just kept finding what I didn't want. Because again, what I said earlier, if you don't know what you want, then that's not helpful. You just keep running into like, well, if you don't know what you want, and if you know what you don't want, which is exactly where I was. So I wouldn't say that I'm opposed to dating now. I actually think this is helping me work through that. I just think time is precious, and I'm a very busy mom, so I don't want to waste time. But if I'm very judicious about it, and if I make a clear picture of what I want, then I can measure the guys I'm meeting against that and move on more quickly if they don't fit that, and give them a chance if they do. That makes sense to me. So anyway, hope you enjoyed our spilling the tea, towel talk, whatever. Lots of teas in there. Whatever the tea in this conversation was. And shower thoughts. There's a T in thoughts. There's 2 T's actually. So again, lots of T's in this conversation. I think I'm going to sleep really good tonight because I feel like I figured out something really huge. So I'm going to work on being a more balanced person, like I talked about in my last video. I'm going to actually, like, I'm even going to pray about this, but I'm going to really be thoughtful, prayerful, and quiet about what I want, because I feel like I need to know what that is. And I think if I figure that out, dating will take on a whole new meaning. I don't want meetings. I mean, I guess you have to meet. I don't mean those kind of meetings. I don't know what I'm thinking. I don't want them to feel like business meetings. I could see how dating could take on a new meaning if I know what I want. This could be a good thing. So with that said, I'm going to hit the, what did she call it? I'm going to hit the bag, I think is what my niece said. I'm going to hit the bag or the sack, and I'm going to go to sleep, and I'll catch you guys later. I drink herbal tea. I don't know if that counts, but I think it's different because herbal tea is just water that's infused with things that I already eat, like, fruit and mint and things like that. I don't go around eating tea leaves, so I don't know that it's the same thing. Similar, but not the same. But correct me if I'm wrong. I don't really consider it a true tea. It's more of like an infusion, but